So yeah, welcome everybody. Like we did for the past 5 times this summer and fall, I'm here to introduce you and help you identify together with us the most promising calls within Horizon Europe related this time to two important policies related to agriculture, to soil and biodiversity. Those strategies are Farm2Fork and A Soil Deal for Europe. I remember when we discussed, Katya, choosing the thematics, we decided to put this together because they belong to the same medium, and this is the soil in this case. So Horizon Europe, it's a continuation. It starts where the Horizon 2020 stopped. Horizon Europe, it's a 7th cycle of research and development work program for the European Commission, and the European Commission wants to achieve their R&D objectives, launching within their work program a series of funding through various mechanisms. So the one that we gonna focus today and then in the past were belonging to pillar number 2, where you have several clusters, research and development clusters, from health, culture, creativity to food, bioeconomy, natural resources. You have on the left link for each of the work program. It is true that the work programs that are linked here, they are for 2021 and 2022. Commission was in cycles of 2 years. So basically, now we are reaching the end of the work program cycle of 2021 and 2022, and 2023 and 2024 now is being developed. In final drafts are there online, but not yet officially published. So these links will probably have to change quite soon once we enter in the new cycle of the European Commission. But you see there's plenty of funding available for the 7 years distributed between these pillars. And something new that has not been present in Horizon 2020, a special place for mission. And A Soil Deal for Europe is one of the 5 missions that the European Commission launched. This mission, they have a specific objective to promote specific products and research that are closer to the market, but also closer to achieving certain goals, like, for example, clean ocean or reduce the emission because of the agriculture, and then reduce soil pollution. How do we read the calls if we are faced with the challenge of searching for a call that might fit us? So here I put 2 examples. One is from the pillar number 2, which refers to clusters, and then what you have here, Horizon CL6, it actually tells you that it's a Horizon Europe call. It is being within the work program cluster 6, food, bioeconomy, natural resource, and agriculture and environment. I put in here for you the link also to the work program. This time the work program is the one from 2023-2024. So you would find this call within this document. Now the next numbers, 2023 is quite obvious, is the program, is the year of the program. And then zero pollution, it's actually the destination. Each cluster, they have a number of destinations, sometimes 5, sometimes 7, sometimes even more. And then the destination for this call is clean environment and zero pollution. And then follows the title of the call. The second call, it looks pretty much the same, only that on the second position, you have mentioned miss, which comes from mission. So from this point of view, we are getting out of the clusters and then we are going towards the mission. This special calls, I think the first batch of calls from the mission were launched in 2021. And again, the year of when the call is going to be open, and then also you have an indication which mission it is, because as I said, there are 5 missions. Then you have an indication what number of the call it is, and then 001. So basically, it's the first call from 2023, and then you have again the title, Discovery the Subsoil. Also, I linked in here the link to the webpage of the European Commission for the mission on soil. And also, I put also here a link to the missions for 2023-2024, the FEPE 12. This is where you can consult all the mission calls that will be probably officially published quite soon. What you have on the left, you have YouTube, where the European Commission presents in more detail a number of mission, and then also I think from our 2 along, because it's a full day of presentation of the missions, and the soil deal I think is the second mission that has been presented that day, and it starts from the hour 2 or something like this. But you should start with this if you want to inform yourself what the Commission wants with this mission, what specifically you want with this call, because they will explain to you what they are expecting, what type of call it is, and then maybe other details. But also there were sometimes Q&A that can be very helpful, because companies or institutes, they ask their specific questions about it. And this type of events, they will be organized more often, where missions are presented, updated missions are presented. Also, I put here a link to the mission, the EU missions in general, info days, from where you can retrieve. Now, these are the calls that we identify within the clusters. And there's a number of 5 calls. So you have a call that is being issued by EUSPA. EUSPA is the European Space Program Agency. They also issue quite a lot of calls, specifically focusing on space. For this case, for example, Copernicus-based application for business and policy making, and more certainly have been selected by my colleagues because it has relevance to soil and maybe agriculture. But then also there are relevant calls tied or related, or the outcomes or the impact are related to soil and or agriculture or Farm2Fork. There's a call on resilience. We identify also within cluster 4, cluster 6, and there's also one on governance, research and innovation action, digital technologies supporting plant health, early detection. So yeah, this can be also something that, for example, Geronimo can look into the future. Then that's another call on 2024 on governments. It's supporting the EuroGeo initiative, which is a really huge initiative within Europe on geosurveillance. And then the next page, what you have on the next page is actually the list of the calls that we identify within the mission. They're all going to open on 2023. For some of them, we already have specific dates when they're going to be open, and a specific date when is the deadline. But some of them, since, as I said, the program is not yet formally published, the specific dates are not known. But more certainly, they will start in 2023. They will be published in 2023. So we have here, we start with the call that it's a mix between 2 missions. It's actually a mission between the ocean and the soil. This can happen. I also saw a call that is between the intersection between soil, ocean, and climate change. So soil can be part of this kind of nexuses that is becoming more and more of actuality when you do research and development. And then you have actually all the list in order from 1 to 8 within the Horizon mission from the soil. So as as Stephen presented before and then has been presented for the past, we prepare for you on a open calls website fact sheet for each of the calls that you've seen presented in the previous 2 slides. And then within this syncretic fact sheet, you can actually see what is the scope, what are the outcomes, and also what type of call it is, if it's a research and innovation, if the information is available, when is opening, when is the deadline. Also, what kind of activities are available, and also which countries are specifically expected to be partnering. If you click on each of these fact sheets, you will actually be redirected to the page where we have this information present, and also you can enter the fact sheet. I took the liberty, like in the previous times, to introduce you a little bit to the strategies that we're looking at, the strategies that dictates basically publishing of these calls. And then I think when you document yourself for applying for a European project, you have to conduct quite an extensive research on the past project, but also what are the aims and the objectives of the Commission. And then you can identify this within this large strategy roadmaps that are published by Europe. So I just put here with the hyperlink the Farm2Fork strategy, which I think you have to start with it when you think about an idea. And then also I put the A Soil Observatory, which is maintained and developed by my former colleagues from the European Commission. I used to work for GSE, and then GSE's Joint Research Center is part of the Commission, and they maintain this huge portal with a lot of information and data, not only information, but also data. Now, besides these meetings, also where you can find partners, I think you can start find partners within the portal. European Commission European Commission maintains the SEDIA portal, and then you can find there a lot of companies. They are listing themselves as willing to participate in a call as a partner, and then also they list what are their specific knowledge or expertise they want to offer. But if you ever think to ally with companies from the Netherlands or from the Czech Republic, you can also make use of the space industry maps or space ecosystem map that Ground Station dotSpace has published this year. And then we develop together with our partners, and then we offer this product as a fifth product. You can actually download it from our website. As I mentioned, specifically for the Dutch companies, you can get the support of the Dutch Enterprise Agency, RVO, to their national contact points and advisors, which will help the Dutch companies sitting in a consortium to streamline their proposal and then get any kind of administrative or financial information. Because sometimes participating in a Horizon Europe grant, it is very complicated from an administrative point of view, but also is very rewarding. I mentioned before the Euro Portal Single Electronic Data Interchange Area. This is SEDIA. This is where you will find all the tenders being published. It is the formal platform where you can find these calls. And then also, as I mentioned before and presented the link to European mission, I also put here in the end Horizon Europe Info Day. So basically the presentation of the overall Horizon Europe program, if you are interested to get an even larger overview of what does it mean European funding between 2021 and 2027. So that will be my whole presentation.
Thank you, Andrei. That was excellent. Let me share my screen. There we go. Andrei, that was excellent. Let's spend some time with for some questions. So if anybody has any questions, go ahead and either raise your hand or put it in the chat. I'll start us off. So for Andrei, for those that are new to Horizon Europe calls, for example, you presented one call that opens in January of 2023 and it closes in December of 2023. And does that mean that you have all year to prepare and then you submit in December and then you find out in 2024 if you potentially would win that work, or as potentially our name suggests, an open calls. Is it an open call? So you could, it opens in January, you could submit in February and potentially start work in March. Maybe you could share that information with the team here.
Well, this is a whole process that goes. I mean, if we sometimes, once you get your hands on the work program of the commission for a certain cluster, you start to identify the calls. And for example, we presented here some calls that you can find them even before being published on the portal. So the idea is that a lot of companies and a lot of partners, they will start to form consortia already before the calls being published. Mm-hmm. Once the calls they are published, then you start to form the consortia, you start to gather a lot of information. It's a long process. And also depending on the type of the proposal, if it's an innovation action, if it's a research innovation action, there's a certain template that you have to fit in, a certain number of pages, and it takes time. It takes time to align, get everybody on the same page, and then build a really, really streamlined proposal that also it is in very much connection with the outcome and objective within the call specified by the commission. And that sounds pretty amazing. But then the deadline comes, you have to introduce all the information in the portal, and then it takes from 2 to 3 months actually for the commission to review the calls. And then once the winner is being announced, which the winner can be sometimes being announced even after 3 or 4 months, all this information is being published for each call in part. So some calls will take a little bit more time to be assessed and evaluate. Some calls less. So for example, we participate in the coordination and support action call, and it has been reviewed after 2 months. But for some other larger calls, more participants, it took 4 months. And then once the winner is being announced, then it starts a negotiation, because actually what you got accepted is just some kind of SLA. So now you have to sign the contract with the commission, which means you have to transform whatever you made within the proposal into a legally binding offer. And then you start a negotiation with the commission. Mostly this negotiation is not really changing too much, but it has to be legally binding. So you have to sign the contract. You have to find if everybody is eligible for the project. You establish the project plan, and then you actually sign the contract, and you establish also the start of the project. So this can take on average from 4 months to 9 months. And depending on the program, depending on the project, there are certain variation in how the commission pays. Sometimes can pay 35% at the beginning or 65% at the beginning, and they will wire you the money. But most of the times, all these administrative part is being handled by the coordinator of the project, so we'll inform all the partners. And then sometimes arrangements are done regarding the payment in such a way that those who need the most money, they can receive the money, so they conduct the research. So basically, it's not something that is carved in stone. It's impossible. The commission is there to facilitate research, not actually just to give you money. So from this point of view, I think whatever they do is to support from the moment that you want the proposal to the moment that you start handing in the deliverables. But it's a process that takes time, as you said. In my opinion, from 4 to 9 months.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks so much, Andrei. So the two key pieces of information I took from that are there's no advantage to applying early because the evaluation stage won't happen until after the close of the proposal.
Yes.
And that it does take a long time to go from submitting to being evaluated to then getting on contract. But in the long run, it's probably very worth it given that it's significant amounts of funding. So